Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about one of the series that I never gave a chance, never even considered giving a chance, and it is so incredibly beautiful, wonderful, fantastic. The best way I can describe this series is this anime is like liquid serotonin straight into your brain. It is just, if you guys don't know what serotonin is, it's basically just happiness in the mind, feeling great, feeling like you're on cloud nine, essentially. It is such a magical, fantastical series, and I just need to talk to you guys about it. It's been a while since we've been here. Now, before we get into me gushing about the show and trying to plead with you guys to watch it, because it's so worth your time, and I can't describe enough how much I didn't think anything of it. And it's just a magical series, which I really would hope you guys would give a chance. But anyways, let's get rid of some of the busy work first, because I know some people are going to be clicking on this video for different reasons. So, first things first, we were talking about the anime March Comes In Like a Lion. I'll talk about the anime in a minute, but what it is, just in case people don't know. But I want to let you guys know that apparently people said to expect it to come out in fall 2021. You know how you constantly do. I just did it for you. All right, I went and delved into Reddit forums of people talking about it, who know the designer, who know the publishing team. When they speculate it's going to happen, a season 3. It is incredibly successful. So out of like the idea that we're not going to get a sequel is pretty not true, but the idea of when is the kind of debate, right? So we're probably going to get a sequel, but just when is it going to happen? But again, this is March Comes In Like a Lion. Apparently people are saying expect it fall 2021. Expect it sometime then. I am so ready for season 3. Now, by the way, if you guys do want to give this a try without even hearing any sort of what it is about or anything like that, it is on Netflix. Well, Canadian Netflix. I hope it's on everyone else, but it does have 2 seasons, and each season is 22, I think, episodes apiece. So it's a good bit of video for you to watch, and each episode is, like, again, liquid serotonin. Pow! Straight into your veins. I don't know if that's actually will check out or if it'll like hurt you actually. In regards, it's great. It is the embodiment of happiness, love, and joy in a series. Now, for some backstory, I heard about this show 1,000 other ways. I've seen it in like best of animes. I've seen it in AMVAs a lot, specifically the scenes with his sister and whatnot. I've seen this series everywhere, and largely I typically don't like these kinds of shows, so I don't love these kinds of shows where the only angle is kind of like a drama angle, a drama slash, a coming of age story. They're just not my kind of things, and if they are, I want them to be in like have a twist, like being in a magical world, have some sort of weird curse, something. Maybe that's cringy, but that's what I like. I want a little bit more on top, and this show, my friends, it is so much more than you could possibly imagine. But it isn't. It isn't more in the sense of like, how about we just throw more shit against the wall to make it work? No. It does very few things, but it does them perfectly, like incredibly well. So, again, I kept seeing this show like every now and again in AMVAs, and I kept being like, it just doesn't seem like a show that I'd watch, unfortunately. It looked good, but like it animated well and all that kind of stuff, but I wasn't able to understand what it was even going on. Felt like there was some sort of like person going through depression kind of vibe every time I seen the show. It's not that, but it is that, but not exactly that. Anyways, essentially, fast forwarding a couple weeks ago, I actually was going through Netflix and I seen a thing that looked familiar, an anime that looked familiar. It finally came to Netflix. I was like, okay, cool. And I opened up the window, and of course, it always plays like a preview of the show on Netflix. And usually, I'll just mute it or whatever. But I was like, fuck it, I've seen this show around. I don't know what it's about. Let me click on the mute button so that it starts playing the music through. So the scene starts playing in Netflix, and it's just this really simple, but it seems incredibly wholesome. Like just the most wholesome scene you've ever seen, where this boy with glasses is coming into this house that just seems like it's breathing love and joy, and there's these sisters. There's this tiny sister, a bigger sister, and an even bigger sister, and they're all like welcoming him in to come and eat, and he brought them food, and then they're all happy that he brought him that he brought them some like, I don't know what it's, yogurt or something. And I was just like, this seems just lovely. Like, because again, all the, like, whenever you see an AMVA, or whenever you see a best of video, they typically try to show you like the beautiful art style, and it shows like a good representation of what depression is. Like, you know, you're just seeing a black void all around you, and you just like feel like you're empty inside. And yeah, and I was like, okay, this seems like a lot. And I started watching it that night, and because I thought, hey, this looked like not what I thought it would be. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to quickly do a synopsis of what it is, just so you guys know what to do, but please stay until the end, because it's so much more of what this is. Because the show itself, the beauty in it is that it should not work at all. Okay, let me try to pitch you a show, and you tell me if you're going to greenlight it. Okay, there's a show about a young man in a small apartment, okay, and he plays, let's simplify, he plays chess, and he's a professional chess player, okay, and he struggles with his past, okay? And he's a struggling student, but he really wants to be the best, or he's just really good at chess. Also, we're gonna sprinkle in some, like, his life has been horrible and a nightmare, okay? And now we're gonna, and it just the whole thing just sounds like, no, fam, this ain't it. This ain't it. But it isn't. It is absolutely it. It is so much it. So the whole show revolves around this teenager who basically is going through being a professional shogi player. Shogi, it's an incredibly complex version of, let's just say, chess, just to get you an idea. That's not how it is, but it's just a good idea. It's this game that people play, and it's super high level, like incredibly complicated and all these things. Anyways, so there's this 14 or so year old kid who's doing this, basically living on his own and all these kind of things. Now, as the show progresses, you find out that this boy has been through fucking horrible shit. Now, I'm going to dip into a little bit, we'll try to go light on spoilers. I'll get into it later, but he's been through horrific shit. And now you guys might be like, oh, Grin, is this one of those shows where it's going to make me feel depressed and sad all the time, man? I don't need that in my life right now. It's not. It is as much of the opposite as it could possibly be. The reason why is because it shows the main character when the world is finally giving him a break. When the world is finally not just piling on more shit. So the main character is like they'll do things like this, where the main character will be in a situation that seems like just kind of normal. Like, you know, all these people are being nice to him, and they're inviting him into their home. But nice. But then it shows why it matters so much to him, why it's just like magic. Like, this simple act of inviting this stranger into your home and giving them a nice meal means the world to him, because what went on in his past is just sad and horrible. And the way he was treated makes sense of why he is so good at this game, because of the past that he went through. But it constantly does this thing where I really don't like the whole idea of, like, when people write a story specifically to hurt you, you know what I mean? Like, oh, here's this character that you're gonna fall in love with. Oh, aren't they great? They're so funny. Oh, she's so good at violin. She fucking dies, trash, idiot, fucking dumbass. I'm just like, you know, so I'm not a fan of that at all, because it seems like you're just trying to, like, specifically fuck up your viewer. This show does it in a way that's immensely clever, where you don't actually ever feel any sort of negativity, because it's in the past. This main character's already been through the shit, and you can already tell that he's more or less a pretty good human being even still, but he has a lot of problems because of these things. So it's just about growth. All you get to see is growth, and just love, kindness, sweet serotonin straight to the brain. It is a beautiful show. That is my best way to describe it. And the whole show's arcing themes is exactly that. This character having been through a shitty existence thus far, having been dealt a really shitty deck of cards, and finally, the world's just giving stuff back to him, finally. And he's having to learn these lessons, and I can't describe how absolutely baffling it is that this game of chess is the most interesting, fun thing you could possibly see. It is just wonderful. And it's not even the game itself, but it's what everything represents and what everything means. And they do a really good job about not being like, okay, so this is how you play chess. No, it's like, no. This is what it means. This is what the person sees in its players. So it's more of like a versus analyzation of competitiveness rather than the specifics of a game, you know? And it's just wonderful. Anyway, so that's the general theme. I would highly suggest, if I have built up any goodwill. Also, one thing I want to say before I go out of turn. I used to make a lot of these where I used to watch a show and then I used to tell you guys whether, like, there was going to be a sequel or not, and then I stopped doing that because 2020 happened and every single, like, release schedule got canned. There was plenty of shows that were greenlit for a season 2, but Netflix was just like, Fuck you. Nope. And yet they give us another 8 season of Sabrina. Like, fuck off. Anyways, it's stupid. Daybreak was way more unique. Anyways, stupid nonsense. Riverdale clone. I see that as a person who loves magic in shows. All right, and not just even in anime. Regardless, moving aside, I just want to let you guys know that. But yeah, again, 2021 could still be as chaotic as 2020 in terms of people having a hard time working from home and release schedules being delayed, but just know that it's probably going to be coming out in 2021 or 2022, maybe. But yeah, fall 2021, expect something there. Maybe, again, with the weird work schedule, things could get pushed back and weirdness and all that. Do not hold me completely accountable. I just basically summarized a lot of the articles that you could probably find when you're Googling and about if there will be a season 3. Anywho, so March comes in like a lion. This is kind of the spoiler realm now. Again, if you're like, I'm still not sold on the show, Grin. I still don't know what you mean by like happiness. Let me get into it, my dude, because it is. I can't get over how good this show is. Because like when you're watching it, you're just like, man, this is just nice. It's just a really beautiful story. It's just like characters are lovely. Honestly, every single character in the show, they make you fall in love with them, except for maybe 3 or 2. The sister, you're always kind of gonna think she's a wretched cunt. The brother, kind of just a complacent asshole. And then the third one is maybe the boyfriend. Yeah, the boyfriend of his sister. That's it. But even him, you still understand that it's a nightmare situation for him still. Anyways, again, we're gonna, no. I want to get into what I feel about the sister, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, so first things first, the main character goes through like just nightmare shit, man. And they do such a good job about sprinkling these things in where like I don't even feel sad talking about it because of the love that that contrasts it, like there's so much. It's almost like a story is made up of its entire whole. So yes, this part may be sad, but what if this part was equally beautiful and wonderful? So it's just like you don't feel bad talking about it because it's like, oh, okay, that this is actually worth, well, maybe not worth the squeeze, but it all worked out in the end, and it's evident that is the case. Anyways, his parents die when he's really, really young, and he gets brought on by this like shogi, this chess, again I just say chess to make it so people can understand, but yeah, this chess player, and basically it changes the format of the main character is now without parents, but now he has an incredible draw to this thing that connects him to his father, but also connects him to his new father, which is to be really, really good at this game that the adopted father values greatly. So the main character basically gets just hellbent on becoming the best at this game because it's what gives him joy and is what can get him through his trauma. Now, this adopted father has other children that basically, just because the main character, Ray, is such a good kid who just like he had such horrible thing happen to him, but yet he keeps moving forward and he keeps trying to be good and better and better and better and even better, that eventually his real children end up resenting Ray because he is just, and they kind of say this on the second to last episode, or maybe the last episode, that Ray is just a good kid, like, period. Like he's been through the shitter and still is just a really good kid. You know what I mean? Like he helps with the mom do the dishes and all these things, and even the mom resents him to some extent, which doesn't make any sense. But anyways, as he grows up, he understands that, okay, maybe these people are like I'm dividing this family because I'm like I never do anything wrong. I know I'm kind of like the good kid or whatever. So anyways, he realizes he's dividing the family, so he leaves. And this is just like a 14-year-old high school student or whatever, or 16-year-old high school student is on his own playing a professional, high complex game. He's living by himself, so he has to deal with all his responsibilities, and he has a boatload of fucked up trauma that he has to deal with as well. And he goes through like these forms of depression. And anyways, this may not be really setting the stage for like, oh, this sounds like an enjoyable experience, but that's because that's what you learn as you're seeing everything play out. Now, what you're seeing playing out is him meet this beautiful family, this like just love. It's just warmth and beauty and excellence. I mean, excellence is the wrong word, because excellence applies like you need to be the best in order to be here. No, it's like there's just like a big love pit, like where you can't help but get pulled in. It's just amazing. But anyways, he meets his family, and in this family, they're kind of a broken family as well. Their mom and grandma died, and the big sister has to take care of her two little sisters, as well as the grandpa is kind of helping. And they're just like a love factory, man. And again, they see this boy who's clearly like has this cloud over him, and stuff has not gone his way, so they weirdly invite him into the family. And I was really terrified the whole way through this experience, where like there's gonna be a moment where they get upset, and they tell Ray off, or they just blow up at him inadvertently. I was always worried there was gonna be moments like that. At least in the anime itself, there hasn't been anything like that, and it's just like they just try to do their best, and they try to like just be there for one another. And that's the whole series, where like there'll be a bad emotional thing that'll happen, and then Ray will come to this place, and a great like analogy, and it's kind of sad, but Ray makes this analogy that it's basically like a table with a heater under it, where when you're underneath this table, when your legs are underneath it and a blanket's covering the like heat exit points, it basically creates this like really, really warm feeling. It's almost like being in a nice warm bath. Think of it like that. But he associates that place, this like home with these three sisters, to be this just like bastion of warmth and love. But he also makes this understanding of, well, it hurts so much whenever I leave that place, because then I'm in my apartment by myself, alone, sad, and it feels so cold. You know what I mean? It's almost like when you get out of when you're in a nice warm bundled up, it's like when you're in bed and you're like nice warm cozy in your blankets, and then you leave your bed and it's freezing cold, and you're like, man, this is hard to deal with because you were in such a warm place. If you were always just in the cold place, it'd be easier to stay in the cold. And that's just, again, there's so many moments like that where they'll like make these really beautiful sentiments. And again, Ray, and just about like a lot of other people as well, probably just the manga writer at this point, does such a beautiful job about using words to describe people in the most fantastical ways possible. And if you need like a crash course in how to appreciate somebody or see the beauty in the world, this show will do it for you. This show constantly just throws lavish praise everywhere, and gives like emotions to words. Emotions are so complex and insane, but describing them in these ways of like a burned down field, or like an ocean drowning you, is the best way to kind of describe these emotions, maybe like depression, maybe like anxiety, and it's just beautiful. I say all that like, hey, depression, anxiety, beautiful. It's beautiful because of what it's contrast with, which it's impossible to describe, but it's basically like the love of this family, in the fact that they each put in something and get in a monstrous wave of love when they do. And I will say season 1 is a lot more of like Ray's journey, like the main character's Ray's journey of feeling and dealing with being on his own, like accepting others' help, and the world giving him a break, like being like, hey, we really fucked you up here. Let's throw some happy curveballs at you so you can stay afloat. And then season 2, man, season 2 is just serotonin. It's just lovely. There's a couple scenes with a bullying thing, which is not great, but other than that, it's just love and just serotonin straight to the brain. Oh, and there's so many good scenes, especially with the last. Like, I just finished watching season 2 yesterday, and I finished it, and I was just like, oh, I want more. Please tell me there's more. Oh, it's so fucking wonderful. Again, it's very rare that I'll like finish a show and feel like, yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I struggle greatly with this sentiment of like Oscar nominations is the best way I can kind of phrase it, or so many people are like, oh my god, this is like the most beautiful art I've ever seen, and it's like it's a movie in black and white where you can't hear anything, and the actors are like really super, their emotions are like on cloud 9, and it's all supposed to mean something. And I can't hear anything, and it's in fucking black and white. So I'm just like, okay, dude, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm not your demographic. I don't understand why this is being praised as of such high art. But then there's this show, and this show, because I have my like top 3 anime. I love the medium. I have my things that to me I think are wonderful. I'm not sure if they'd be great for everybody. I'm not sure if it's gonna be your objective amazing anime, although I think that's a weird thing to say anyway. Just in case you guys are wondering, Blood Blockade Battlefront, my favorite anime of all time, and then we got Assassination Classroom, and then we got Welcome to Demon School Irmika. Those are my 3 that I love to pieces. I think they're my favorite. But this show is just, it's on a weird other scale entirely. Like, I don't even think it's a part, not that it's not good or not that it's bad or like it's worse than any of those shows or better than any of those shows. It just feels like it's a different thing entirely. Yeah, because it's a consolidation of so many simple things done perfectly, exceptionally. The sound, the music in this show, and the best way I can describe the scenes in this anime is, have you ever listened to a song? Maybe this is like weird, but like when you're in high school and you first heard like an edgy band that described like anger or something, and you were like, this is it. You know, maybe Linkin Park for a lot of us. But cringy as it is, that was like a thing that completely resonated with your emotional state, whether it be anger, or the feeling of being lost. Maybe it's something as lovely as joy and togetherness with the community. But it's these emotional patterns where within music, you're able to be like, that's it. That person nailed that emotion 100%. How that's a beautiful thing. This anime is that for things like happiness, and maybe even to some extent you can anecdotally see that it's some like red herrings or in depression, you know, being able to see that there's some sort of thing talking about that. But mostly it's like happiness, family, joy, warmth, the ability to fight for one's dreams, the ability to find purpose and meaning in your life. All of these things are given form in the music that they play to draw you in the spectacular art style that shows colors like you've never seen them, the story that is simple but yet perfect and beautiful. It is wonderful, and it's again, that's why I say, like, I kind of get that feeling of it, like this show doesn't belong in any category besides maybe one of the best overall kind of things made, because of that. And I've watched a lot of shows, and a lot of the ones that people are like, this is like the best anime of all time, you know, and I'm like, it's good, but it doesn't, like, yeah, it's also good at the time. Whereas this show, I don't think it could be, I feel like it'd be good in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Like, you know, it's not one of those things. And I don't think I'm just like on the high of it, like me being like, oh my god, it's so good. No, I think it's actually genuinely good. Not only that, but that's also one of the reasons why that it's like going to get a season 3 probably, is because it's super successful. I'm not the first person to say this, I guarantee it. But I hope I'm probably not the first person, but I hope I'm one of the people that can convince you that for, like, I like isekai, kind of like just stupid, like Overlord, Shield Hero, Reincarnated Slime, like all those shows that are like, they're just this bastion of weird but lovely ideas that are fun for your brain to kind of play in. This is a show that I think, like, I love all those. I think I would be shocked to find one person who doesn't like this show. With that being said, though, it is, again, I could see people being like, just bored, like people being like, this is, but no, even the music, like, there's just, they find other ways to capture your attention. So I don't think that's the case, unless you just decide you don't like it before you even tried it, then maybe then. But that can be said for everything. You just don't want to like something, so you'll convince yourself that it's bad, which, again, maybe it is bad. That's totally okay too. Yes, the music, 10 out of 10. Again, that's the thing that makes it crazy, is that there's so many things that it does well, like the music, the visuals, the story. It always feels like you're progressing really well. I will say there was a slight lull in the second half of season 2, where it became really about this the middle-aged guy with the weird hairline that they constantly make fun of, which rough, but where it became a lot about him, and that to me kind of felt messy. But again, it's just showcasing the talent of the writer, because even though you're like, who is this fucking guy who just, you know, fucked over Ray's revenge story, but they actually make you fall in love with him too, like, because he tries immensely hard, he helps Ray out. It's just like this whole thing, and they do such a good job about like showing how hard Ray has it, so that when someone does like extend the olive branch, you're like, yes, yes, people who are good are helping our boy out. So it's just great, it's just lovely. Okay, and now let's talk about Queen fucking bitch. Which also, what is with that scene where like she was hovering over, like, did they bang? They're like adopted steps. It's a lot. Don't get distracted by this part of people who are saying or watching me try to vouch for the show. It was a weird spot in it. I don't know what happened. It seemed rapey. Anyways, regardless, the sister is a goddamn monster, and I was so hoping, and if anyone who's read the manga, please tell me in the comments down below. I'll of course put spoiler before your message, please. But in the series or a manga, when March comes in like a line or something, is there a moment where the family, the sisters, not like the bad sister, the good sisters, his actual family, is there a moment where they finally do know what he's been through? Like, I was so hoping for there to be a scene where where like maybe the blonde-haired bitch of a sister like caught him as he was leaving the house and starting to walk away, and she started to like yell at him and like just really go after him, and she just saying some like toxic shit, like maybe you're but she also alludes to like his backstory, like maybe both your parents and your sister couldn't stand being with you, so that's why they died, or something. And then she just keeps rattling off like all of this shit. But the sisters are like outside of the fence, able to hear all of the horrible shit, so they passively understand. And in one scene, that Ray's family died, and that this is his sister, and that his sister is this cruel and this monstrous, you know. And in that moment, everything kind of clicks about like, oh, this is why you're broken to some extent. Like, it's this fucking piece of shit bitch is problem, and also the dad, and also the son, and also the mother. It is a lot. There's a lot to unpack. But also, who's to say he would have survived or become excellent if he didn't have this weird life as well? I don't know. But anyways, I was really hoping that there'd be a scene like that. So basically, my question is for people in the comments. Is there a scene where the sisters finally know? Like really know, like, hey, like you lost your mom and grandpa or grandma, yeah, yikes. Well, I lost everybody, and I don't have anybody, and my childhood was a nightmare where people threw cans filled with rocks at me. Go team. So, is there any scene like that? And is there any scene where like his real family just fucking bodies this blonde bitch, this blonde piece of shit who's just evil and manipulative and just such a wretch, which they didn't show too much of her in the second season, which I'm wondering if that's like if they're playing with a different thing where, I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't know what the angle is with that. Because in the second season, it almost felt like they were trying to make you empathize with her and the dude who's cheating on his wife who's in the hospital, you know? And it seemed like there was moments where they're trying to make you empathize with them, and I'm kind of like, you're gonna have to do a lot more than that, fam. In fact, I don't think it's ever happening. I'm a resentful bastard, okay? Especially when you come from our boy Ray, all right? But yeah, I was really hoping that would happen in somewhere in season 2. And people who are still listening and to the spoilers and all, it doesn't, unfortunately. Again, I'm hoping so badly it does. There are moments where it seems like the family doesn't know. Like there was a moment when I think, what's her name, Hida, the second to the medium little sister, the second youngest, was talking to him and asked him about like how when did he get into shogi, and he was kind of just like, when my fucking parents died, except he didn't say that, so it's almost like, okay, no, they don't know what his trauma is, which almost makes it more special, because the family loves him because of him, not because they're sorry for him or because of anything like that. Like maybe that was what it started with. But not when he brings them food. He helps them out whenever they need it. So now it's no longer like a no. They're like a family. They're depending on one another, and it's a beautiful, spectacular thing. But I really hope there is that moment where they finally get to see like all of the pain that he went through, and also I hope there's a scene where it also shows like he just explains to them like I'm not just a psycho. You did that. Like, who wouldn't fall in love with this family for like if person was been through all the stuff that I've been through, you know? And the last thing I want to talk about was was it the second to last? I think it was the second to last episode for season 2, the 20th episode. But yeah, it was a scene where what do you call it? And okay, that's also another thing. Is there like I think there is like a weird love interest with Ray and the second oldest thing, which was a little weird at first until you find out that there's only like a year difference or something. So it's not that creepy at all. It's a little, yeah, but it's not that creepy at all. In fact, I'm on board. I'm like, fuck it. Honestly, I'll be honest. Even if they were, I would still be on board. It's still like, it's weird. I know, but it's just weird. It's in this painful world. I just think it's okay. Anyways, but yeah, there's this moment where Ray kind of has this thing where he says something, and I'm like, oh, does that mean what I think it means? Because he says I'll give you my entire life kind of thing. Like my life is now yours. Like I'll dedicate my life to seeing you smile and happy. That's it. And something to me, I'm not sure if it was ever like is on point or like on the nose as like I'll wait for you. I don't think it was ever like that. It was more because again Ray is like hyper. It seems like hyper asexual. Not like I don't think he's actually that. I just think it's the show. The show doesn't ever really get into that. It got into again that one weird scene with his sister, but oh yeah, man. The last episode kind of hit me in the gut a little bit. Because it showed like him going back to his mom, and it's like him just like a bamf, like just a fucking badass motherfucker, you know what I mean? Where he comes back to this home of like just pure pain, like this just sorrow and shit and like evil that came from this house. And all he did was his best cleaning like the bathroom and shit. Anyways, he goes and sees his mom, right? His stepmom. And his stepmom doesn't even like refer to herself as... She refers to him as a boy that came to live with them when they were younger. And not her son. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's your stepson, you fucking lunatic. Even if you didn't sign the papers, you looked after him for his entire childhood. You fucking psycho bitch. Anyways, regardless, yeah. And I thought, I was shocked that her perception was so negative, but she also understood what his sacrifice was, which to me is so even worse. Like, you understood what he did, and you let him do that. Like, you let him push himself away so that you could be happy, and your fucking shitty children could feel less shitty, despite he feels 50 times shittier because his whole fucking family died, you fucking idiot. Like, oh my god, I got so mad thinking about the stupid, wretched nature of it all. And again, they try to make you like empathize with her, but it's like, bitch, you're a terrible person. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how fucking sad you feel. Anyways, the good news is that he comes back to that home, and he like, because I think she's fallen apart too. I think that's the subliminal thing, is that she's also like depressed, not loved, in a bad marriage, maybe not doesn't have the backbone to be the mom that maybe she needed to be. But yeah, Ray ends up like going in, and he's just like a beacon of light. Like, he did, like, all this negative shit's hitting him, and he's just like, no, bitch, not today. Guess what? Nothing can take away this beautiful family that I have. And dude, if they do that to us, if in season 3 they try to rip my heart out by like giving the family a sickness, or like the sweets factory goes under, I'm gonna be pissed. All I want to see from this series is the happiness of the home and Ray fucking killing it in terms of the shogi game. Because I'll be honest, he's kind of flatlined for a lot. I want him to, like, I know they're hinting at that he's like, it's like the slow process of a skilled best shogi player in the world. No. Show me him like go away for like a month and just learn like a monk in a tower and come out of that shit killing it, like destroying bitches. Cause I'm tired of him being like, well, I guess I'll die. Like, oh, yikes, I'm lost. I want to see this young kid be the best in the world, fucking flat at age 17 or something. I'm not sure we're going to get it. Probably not. I'll let the manga guy write whatever story he's going to write. I love it that much that I'll just trust entirely. But yeah, but anyways, that scene where yeah, he goes back to the mom's place, it broke my heart, because again, there were so many reasons where it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, one, yes, he is your son. Secondly, yes, he I mean, the silver lining is that he eventually found his way, not by your help at all. He found his way because he found a family that actually chose to love him, and that actually is even like, yeah, is like incredibly like worthy of him, you know. And the saddest part, man, is that he fucking hugs that dog. Oh, I didn't even think about that. In that same scene when he finally leaves the mom's house, he's petting the dog, and then he gives the dog like the biggest hug. And I think it's because the dog was the only one he ever like loved in that house, that loved him, you know what I mean? That showed him what love was supposed to be, where someone wants to be around you, someone wants to have fun and to grow with you and etc. That doesn't want anything from you. But yeah, and again, I think that's the sad part, where he gives that dog the biggest hug as he's getting older, and kind of like you were the one that at least I knew for sure loved me, you know? And that's just hard. That's just hard. But again, it's also, again, for anyone who's listening to this who hasn't checked out the show yet, and please give it a try. Give it 2 or 3 episodes. Give it 3 episodes. I feel like they'll get you. All right. And again, I will say a part of me does have a little bit of like sadness because I wish I would have watched the show when I was like mega depressed, because it would have pulled me back. It would have pulled me back from the break. I'm telling you guys, I watched this show when I was kind of in like a medium period. I'm just kind of coasting. I'm not like on cloud 9. I'm not sad. I'm just like, oh, I'm trying to watch this new show. Fuck it, I'll watch this one instead, and then I'll watch that one after. And this one was just like, oh, just so happy, my love, so love and joy and goodness. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to talk your ear off too much. I just wanted to talk to someone about the show because it's just magical. And if anyone just came off of this and seen it and just wanted to reminisce with me, appreciate you immensely. It is just lovely. And man, I hope dearly that we get a season 3. And I hope that 2021 and 2020 haven't taken a season 3 away from us or have delayed it for another 2 years. But if all the weird speculation business goes through, maybe something fall 2021. Man, again, art style, sound design, characters, story, just being able to talk about a subject that is as boring as chess. But also, if you're into that, then it's probably not boring. But for me, it's a little boring. And make it amazing is a feat into itself, and it's just on a different scale. It's not better, it's not worse than any other show any of my other favorite shows. It just feels like it's on a different scale entirely. Like I can't even put it into 3 or 4 or whatever, because yeah, just a different beast. Give it a watch, please. It is lovely. I don't think I've ever vouched for a show 100% like I would this one. I loved it. I thought it was great, and I hope you do too. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. If you haven't do anything for the video, like it, anything like that, appreciate you immensely. There's some videos over there. There's also a subscribe button. Maybe you want to click that if you haven't heard. If not, I totally understand. Thank you for your time. Hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your day, and expect more of these, more share grins. Every time I'm done watching a show, I like to talk about it. Thank you for putting up with me, and goodbye.